Hey guys, how's it going? Oops, I forgot to start the music, the background music. Do, do, do. So, if you notice the topic of today's show, I changed it. Oh, hey Mitchell, hey Cole. Um, let me just show how people can see. Good morning. So, guys, I decided. Look, I'm covering the drip ecosystem, and there's nothing to talk about for 2 days, so we're going to take it down to one day. One of the things I talked to Matt about was having this discussion about Gamefi. So, with that said, let's get to it. Hey guys, my name is Potter. I am one of the hosts of the Build Show. Matt used to be on Thursday shows, but he's gone back to work part-time to do some stuff, but he's going to be around whenever he can. Talked to him yesterday. But before we start that, I just wanted to let you know, because it's important, that none of the advice I give for Gamefi or Drip is supposed to be used as financial advice. Cole and Mitchell, you guys can probably recite this if I had a script. But we do this to show our growth as a technologist. I'm a former information system security officer as a contractor for the Department of Commerce. I'm a coder. I did that for my living when I worked at AOL Time Warner, and I'm a cybersecurity professional internationally, China, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Europe, where I've traveled and given talks on cybersecurity to boards as well as the C-suite. So, with that out of the way, let's get to it. Let me show you something. I'm just going to start it off. Right now. This is the kind of stuff that people are going to be able to get used to. This is Gamefi. This is a blockchain game created by the creators of the Splasif ROI, of the ROI DApp. What they've chosen to do is to say, you know what, we're going to have two tokens, and one of them is going to be our gaming token. The other token is going to be the one for investors. I'm in the one for investors, but this isn't the only game that they have. So let me show you what the platform itself looks like. So this is what I got from the Splasif Telegram. I cannot speak to the validity of it, but it still kind of shows the things that they're going to kind of offer in their Gamefi system. This is on AVAX, but I hear that they're planning on going cross-chain, but for now, it's just on AVAX. So they'll have a suite of games here, and you'll be able to buy AVAX, or I think it's called Wave Token. They're working their ROI DApp in a different way. So it's hard to say, the exact way it'll go, but it's just Gamefi is taking off. Here's one last one, and then we'll get back to Gamefi. It's just kind of taking off. You're not just seeing this with the platforms that I'm in. You're seeing these pop up everywhere. And they seem to be authentic, as these game makers say, we don't care as a coder whether I put in, I guess I'm trying to say American dollars, but it could be international dollars, or whether I'm putting in crypto. They're starting to make their games work with crypto. So now I think it's going to evolve into, how do I get it to interact with my Web3 wallet? What do I get out of it? And I think that as it stands now, that's a big question mark. We just don't know. So, things like this, I'm going to show you guys more things like this. I know that I've talked about, one sec. I know that I've talked about entities like Piston, who have figured out a way You know what? If I can create an image of that, I'll get some characters and maybe get that Beyonce thing going. Let me turn the banner off. So, some topics, what is Gamefi? Gamefi is using the blockchain. At this moment, I don't think that anybody is the official console of, Gamefi. But at this point, it just seems to be what I broke down for you earlier. It is gaming using blockchain technology. I believe that movie studios, I believe that gaming studios are going to understand the profitability of blockchain technology, as well as the security that can be implemented to support your games. That equals bad actors having their stuff rolled back, controlling it. Right now, the only thing that we have are the developers who know how to create the apparatus to make profit on top of the GameFi ecosystem. We don't have necessarily here's a step-by-step process on how to do this. Forex Shark is talking about 2 games that are coming, Scratchies, and I believe another one's like Mob Wars, based on Mob Wars, except it's a hacker. I think that when you see the markets coming back, people always go to games, in my opinion, first. So it's incredible. When I worked at AOL, we had WoW.com, World of Warcraft. We could have named it, but people weren't geeks. They weren't gamers. They didn't see that what we saw as gamers, that it was a $1 billion industry. Like I said, $1 billion. It's important that I say it like that. So let me just give a quick, for those dozen who come in to say, hey, what's drip? It's still red. So I decided to place Whale's Corner with Developers Corner because when you look at the GameFi world, it's going to be important to know, hey, who are some hot and upcoming creators in the blockchain space? Right now, I like to focus on the Binance Smart Chain or AVAX and FTM. FTM, kind of coming back around to them. I have a few good plays on FTM. I was thinking about showing you guys those too, but they're not necessarily GameFi-ish. It's a game, but maybe I should tell you guys about those another time. But I think I can bring a unique perspective into the gaming studios and what they're doing, because as a lifelong gamer, that's right, I had an Atari 2600. I know it's fun. I'm playing a game right now. It's a mobile game. It's just so cute. It's got, your crops and a little town, and it's about now the makeup of the artists. So I believe that artists are going to become important in blockchain development, as opposed to studios right now that answer to the street. You only hear about the CEOs, the CFOs, how many clients they're getting, how much money they're making. I think that the blockchain presents a unique opportunity where artists can be just as big as the CEO. Kind of believe this is like a little bit of a sidetrack, but I think you're going to see that with education. I think that you're going to see professors go, I don't care about tenure. I care about, getting paid and feeding my family. Why do I have to teach at Harvard when I have all of these, degrees that purport that I am very qualified to make money without an institution behind me? But they haven't figured out how to make money there yet. So the reason I say that is because I think gamers, game makers, game reviewers, developers, artists in the blockchain world are going to have a whole different world. And it's because it's being created in front of us with social platforms such as Instagram or YouTube. There's just such an audience, and people are hungry for this kind of technology. They're hungry to play games. My mom even plays games. I'm like, Mom, go to bed. Oh, by the way, I asked Chat GPT. Well, it's a version of Chat GPT how to make my stream deck work. So I should have sound effects coming up. Let's go. I got a comment. Do you think Scratchy will be amusing enough to catch attention of people if they consider super active games out there? No, I don't. I think that Scratchy will appeal to people initially as cool. I think that according to everything Forex has said, it will help the platform or the ecosystem, but it's a big question mark whether it will be a game that people will want to gamble. Usually, if there's a star attributed to it, or if there's some kind of, oh my God, this is so cool, word of mouth, but that takes years. I always talk about the game Star Citizen. In Star Citizen, I think it started off as a Kickstarter, and it's been developing for years and years, but it's in an alpha version that people play with it. So it's just hard to say in the gaming world. It's so, what do people want? And if he gets good artists and there's something appealing about it, okay, but I would rather have a garden game that's like, the farming game that I told you about that I have on my iPad. I think with Scratchy, you get an NFT too. Yeah, and you probably do. I'm going to say that you know more about it than me now, Mitchell. I believe I posted this on LinkedIn. Send me an email if you guys want. Send us an email if you want my LinkedIn address to follow. But I posted something about crap. Literally forgot because something flashed on my screen and I don't remember. All right. Look at that camaraderie on the Build Show, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, you two, I'd really like to thank you both for always coming in. I appreciate everybody. I think we get an average of 12 views, so we're still secret. In alignment with that, I do not ask that you like or subscribe. If you like the content, good. Then follow, but you don't have to. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of talking heads. Eric, I'm going to have a sound effect. Eric, welcome to the squad. The Build Show squad. Glad to have you here. I think you were here last time. And when I look at these games, I go, I've talked to you guys about the hotel hospitals, and this is the kind of stuff that would be great to have entertainment inside of a room that, blockchain entertainment, that would be great. Cool. I still wonder if we'll really care much considering it's essentially a lotto. It depends on how much the rewards are. And as Forex loves to say, he's got a big bank, from the assets and the rehypothecation that's going on with the animal farm as well as drip. So things get popular if you put money down. If you can win $100,000, it's going to be very popular. If you're going to win $10, $20, when you have to pay $3 in gas fees, I don't think it'll be a big thing. But you just never know with gaming. And then if you get licensing with up and coming games, I knew what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about a LinkedIn thing I posted about, but I don't remember which one it was. Okay. Yeah, it's a super solid way to make, Cole says, it's a super solid way to make the lotto ticket more appealing. True. Morning, Eric. And more. You got to welcome by our two main guys. I guess you're part of the squad officially now, Eric. You humbled me there. Because I'm really excited about this one. I'm telling you, Gamefi, I just think it's going to be so good. And yay, the economy's coming back, right? Not the economy. The alacrity or the happiness, the coolness around, blockchain. People are starting to understand. Maybe they didn't get crypto. Let's hope they understand blockchain. Scratchy is an NFT. You can choose to collect the reward if you win, or staking might be more beneficial in instances. You know what would be cool, and it's a nice segue. Thank you, Eric. Is what Piston is doing. Piston is, hold on one sec, guys. It's getting warm in here. Probably because I'm so excited. Oh, knock it off. Piston is starting to do really cool stuff. Like you talk about that NFT. What if the scratchy NFT said, okay, as opposed to making 1% on drip, you make 2% now for X amount of days, like maybe they do it like Piston. Piston has also done something, and it's been lasting for months. I wanted to bring up their site, but I think maybe I'll do that next week because I'm prepared, but I didn't know if you guys were going to be like, talk about drip. But their mechanism is they've decided as opposed to the token going up and down and up and down, they've pegged it at $2. They've implemented, I don't know what to call it. It's a posture or a strategy. They've implemented a strategy that says if you sell over a bunch of days, it's going to continually penalize you with taxes. And because it went off the map, everybody going, it's a scam. They failed with their first one. They failed with their second one. But the third one, it stood up. And it seems to be good. One of the things that they're doing, it's an ROI DApp. Its foundations come from drip. And we know how some people think about things that are taken from drip. Splassive is also taken from drip, except on another blockchain. Piston is on the BSC blockchain. But it's a unique idea by developers who are getting smarter and smarter. Remember I talked to you about disruption? So you have to, the drip ecosystem is Apple, right? And these other systems that are coming out are like Google and Microsoft. They are trying to understand this nature of building phones, if you will, or Apple devices. And they can't ever be like the Maestro. They can't ever be Apple, but boy, sometimes people don't want Apple. They just want something that they can use. And both, in my opinion, because I've invested in both of these, Splassive and Piston are starting to do things right. They're starting to make a lot of sense. And they're returning profit, which is, to us blockchain developers, truly the most important thing. Oh, wow, you guys got more comments. He wants a casino to possibly, so I am not a fan of casino ideas. They're just unappealing to anyone but gamblers. And I'm not a gambler. I like to win. And gambling is not something that you can always do. Poker, okay, but roulette and stuff like that. As well as we've seen a lot of roulette and casino games just flop. So I think when it comes to regulatory, waving their finger and auditing, I just frown on any casino product. And that's just me. There are a lot of people who make a lot of money off of casino games. Even in the app stores, there's casino games. Eric, wow, thanks. Even the silent ones. Hey, you're part of the silent 12, huh? Well, glad that you're here. Glad that you spoke up. And so you already knew Cole and Mitchell. Cole says, yeah, the NFT aspect is super cool. I just hope it's flashy enough to catch the attention of people who come through money at games. Who throw money at games. Yeah. Again, big pools win. Take a look at all of the influencers out there who offer, don't forget tomorrow, guys, 10 drip. I didn't make it to 10,000, but I'm still going to give away 10 drip, and then I'll give another 10 away the next week. But take a look at people who say, they're going to give away $10. They'll get people to subscribe. On Twitch, if you say I'm having a $10 giveaway, your room will be flooded with bots, right? As a matter of fact, saying that on Twitch, I probably have bots on Twitch that are saying that. So if you have a big money prize, they're going to do it. Now, Piston also has money prizes that they give away, but it's just, the pots just aren't big enough in alignment with, what you need to do. I was thinking, no, I'm not going to show Piston. I want to be ready, and I'm a cybersecurity person, so since I haven't locked it down, I want to make sure that what I'm showing you has been vetted by me. But yeah, we'll see about people who throw the money. Oh wow. Hey guys, just stop. Um, uh, we really try, right? And we try because we're not out to get views. We're not out to get subscribers. If we get big, we get big, you know. But one of the things that we can say is that I retired. In 10 days. It will be, well, maybe 14 days. It will be a year, and I've been living off of DeFi. And so that puts a different spin on it. Now, if this was last year this time, I'd be talking to you from my third yacht. But right now, I'm waiting. And you know who we are? It turns out we're the people who, in a year or so, people will be going, wow, I wish I'd gotten in then. That's my hope. Can't prove it. But when you look at what we look at on the Build Show, not flash, not some personality. We look at the technology. We look at the apparatus for monitoring and auditing. We hold people accountable, and we care about what we're telling you. Matt was a huge influence for why we didn't, share a wallet on the show. It took away from our integrity of telling you guys the truth versus, well, we're also making money from this. We're not making money from this. We got like a dozen people who show up every week, and we're very grateful. The Drip Friday show is a little bit more popular, but I'm very glad when I come in and I see you guys here. It means a lot. As a matter of fact, on Fridays when you guys are in, I'm literally talking to myself. Okay. Mitchell, Scratchy also benefits the ecosystem with the taxes helping drip pigs and dogs. Right. Now, if we get into that, what does it need to do, to do that? I haven't seen any data that I can walk back through with you guys and say, here's the way it did. And when drip was super confusing, and Animal Farm was super confusing, go back and look. We were going in and we were taking a look at the white papers, the detailed explanations. As a technologist, I can understand it more than just what they say. I can understand it from a practical purpose. I was building the systems that used different programming languages, but were still achieving the same results when it came to the integrity or what the architecture was meant to do. Profit didn't matter. I was just trying to find out, because I think they're good ideas, but does the technology, is it sound? Does it make sense? I've got the pedigree to say yes or no, in my opinion. Cole, yep, that's an awesome benefit. I guess what I'm saying is that I hope it's fun enough to appeal to people outside of the current Drip Maxi. What is that? The Drip Maxi group is like Fight Club. You don't talk about the Drip Maxi group. So I'm not going to say anything. Oh, you're a Samsung kind of guy, huh? Well, that works. Then these other networks that are starting to, these other dApps that are starting to develop are good for, people who like Samsung or Pixel or that's Google or Microsoft. And it's so interesting because last year this time, man, there was nobody but Forex who knew what they were doing. Bank teller knew what he was doing. He needed a cybersecurity person, in my opinion, to say, you know what, you should do a risk assessment to find out, just an assessment to find out what's your risk tolerance. Because if your risk tolerance is about even, you should fix that exploit now. The leader, the guy who's running everything, Forex Shark, has told you to fix it and you didn't. And now your investors paid the price. So this time last year, the only person who knew anything really was Forex. And although he hasn't been, like, hey, let me spread the love, he has been, I'm not hiding anything. So smart people can go in and find everything about his architecture, find out what works and what doesn't work. The hard time that people were having was going, wow, his community, man, those guys show up. We need that community. And people thought, oh, we can do it with the Telegram group. Nope. You have to do it with a solid product. Then they found out about, the NPCs. NPCs are people who, they just do one thing, collect and FUD. So those people came in and they start ripping these little projects apart. And once you have that senior edge kind of idea of, hey, are we in or are we out? People were out. Some of them stayed and survived. I think that Splassive survived because it was on AVAX and people were like, I'm not going to AVAX, it's too expensive. And then we got too cheap. It was like, oh, I'm not going to AVAX, it's a scam. So you have Piston that stayed up, and I like these developers. These guys have roadmaps and they are hitting their deliverable dates. Now comes the product. Is the product good? So far, so good. Racing is really big, and the artistry that they have on their site is inviting. It makes you want to say, okay, I want to participate in this DApp. If they add a game to that, I think that these guys are the closest competition. And way up here, let me go. Here's where they are, right? So they've got a long way to go because their reputation is not anything that the Fight Club won't shut down in 2 seconds. Cole, I meant to say Cole, not Cole. I do think it's awesome that Forex has other interested parties who are willing to pay user fees to bring Scratchy over to their platforms. Doug Flutie, he was a quarterback. He said, you got to watch out for the P word. The P word is potential. One of the reasons I can still live off Drip and these other systems is because I don't deal with potential when it comes to, blockchain specifically. You've got to be showing me you're doing it. That's why Drip was so cool. Drip was showing every day, and almost what we're coming up on 2 years in May. That's proof. So that's why I could back it. That's why I cannot back Piston. I cannot back Splassive because they're still high risk. But what we have is developers who did not quit, who kept innovating and are starting to understand the technology more and more. And I think what web developers or developers in general had to go through, and even as I've been learning Web3, it's not just, hey, I can provide this utility. It's like, man, people give death threats, Like, do you get death threats when your Spider-Man character, dies early? Well, probably. But not like in DeFi, man. People get mad. So, having people who stayed together as a group and fought through and start, doing the projects right, that's new. And it's over about a year old now where we've had this. So it's a new domain. Mitchell, he wants other crypto companies to use it on their sites too, and we get kickback from that, which will spread the word. Again, we get into P word there, right? That's potential. Everything sounds good in a sales pitch, right? I could shoot each one of those things down, but I don't want any death threats. So I'm not going to do it. But, I just think that people don't understand DeFi enough yet. Forex is doxed. He is to the government, he's doxed. Anybody who's the number one trader on, I forget what he's called, Bit something. He's paying his taxes, so they know who he is. But, when you spook people, it's hard to get them into something like that. Drip, you can kind of show any new ideas to say, I've got this new game called Scratchy. It runs on this platform, blah, blah, blah. That's a sales pitch. Now, we know from being longtime Forex people that he's probably going to deliver, not on the date that he says he is, but he's probably going to deliver. And, it's just, there's just so much unknown there. Cole said, that's the most interesting aspect of Scratchy for sure. Yeah, if it takes off, I'm super happy. I want it to take off. We want it to take off. I believe that we're all, Drip ecosystem investors, right? So we want to see that happen. Oh man, this is 30 minutes. You guys, it's already bad enough people don't, super tune in. Okay, Mitchell. With Dogs Roulette is another gaming. Yeah. And it's not a game that I'll participate in, but you know what? In the Splassive games, I probably won't participate in those either. I think what we are is we're foundational people. We were here when the foundation was being built. We were here when the operating system was being built to put all of these unique utilities on top of it. And I think, in the words of Ray, we're bullish, right? So I think the potential is great. And Forex talked about something that is Gamefi specific. He just wants to hit his dates. Now, as a developer, we never hit dates because things just happen, Oops, vulnerability. And Forex isn't going to release anything that has even the slightest hint of a vulnerability for his freaking pristine blockchain environment. So when he starts rolling those out, I believe that the Drip ecosystem will be the leading gaming platform. If, he starts to hit dates and we can start to use it, because all of his stuff is open source. We can read his contracts. It's not hard to do, but it's hard to replicate with the integrity that Forex has. He's an architect and he's security minded, so it's going to be really hard to beat him. Cole says, I'm super interested to see what the roulette game turns out to look like. Yeah, I'm more interested in, the payouts, because if you think about it, if it doesn't have a buzz, I've been to a casino before. The roulette table is usually surrounded by a lot of people who like to see people lose their money or win their money. If you can get that collection of people in, it's going to be popular. And I think that will promote the Drip Games platform. That's right. I just named it. Mitchell says, plus Dodge Roulette meant to burn. Now that is a beautiful thing. All right, guys. So, boy, you guys rock. I'm really humbled. I got to tell you, there's a period of time I thought, I may have to go back to work. But, I believe I've told you guys that, I'm on a mission from God, and, he's definitely had the most weird things happen that kept me from working again. And even now I'm able to do some side hustles that help bring in stuff that as a full-time employee, I'd never even considered of doing. So, I forgot how much I know and how much people, want, what's in here. Maybe they don't want the personality, but they definitely want the information. And you know what? I want you guys because you're freaking awesome. Let's see. That Kingdom project was on Harmony, has a game theory. Yeah, and then you go to that blockchain, right? Like there's another blockchain, I forget the name of it already, where Beebus, he's a big guy on the Phantom chain. He's moved his Oath token over to this other blockchain. I'm just not interested. When I look at the security involved in managing that, it's a no. However, Oath was smart and they finally started pairing with BUSD. So that's good. So guys, I'm telling you, I'm really going to start going down a different rabbit hole here because I know a lot about what I'm talking about here. And that's why we're over 30 minutes. Cole, we really just need to break out of the Drip Maxi Social Club and get ourselves out there in the wider world. Hopefully the new updates start the process. Hey, you're talking about Fight Club again, Cole. I can't talk about Fight Club. Those are the rules, and I'm already out. But you're still right. Drip Maxis are like Apple Maxis, right? Like Apple Maxis, you just can't you can't talk to them, and they'll beat you up. Okay, they don't beat you up, but that's just a methodology, right? Or a lore that people want to fire. See, I kept it gaming. See what I did there? I'm going to have sound effects with laughter so that even if you don't laugh, it's a funny joke. But when you take a look at the groups that do need to develop, yeah, we need them, and we need them without the people who are always just trying to take money out of your bank, out of your wallet on the blockchain. So guys, with that said, excellent, epic show today, and it's because of the magnificent trio of Cole, Mitchell, and Eric. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. we're gonna lose Eric. Yeah, I'm a Apple Maxi too. But that being said, I haven't upgraded my phone since the 12 because 13 was ridiculous and 14 an island, really. My iPads, not so much. But yeah, I gotta get out of here. So, Cole, thanks for the chat, everyone. Great Thursday morning for sure. Because of you guys made it awesome. And don't forget tomorrow, drip giveaway. And sorry about not doing the outro yesterday, but or last week. I was a little bit emotional. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Until then, game on.